such a perfect example of why Christians do not understand. So this is, Christian dude walking up to this dude in a Satan costume or whatever.
Satan. We're here in Salem. It's popular for Satanism and stuff like that. Do you follow Satanism or anything like that?
Nope, I'm agnostic.
Oh, you're agnostic. Oh, you're just a Satan for the spirit of this. How long have you been agnostic for?
Since I was 15.
Since you were 15. And what led you to agnosticism?
Let's just say a lot of prayers that needed to be answered never were.
Oh, wow. So you grew up Christian?
Yeah.
Catholic, and then And then you were crying out to God, and then nothing.
Correct.
Yep.
What exactly were you crying out to God for, if you don't mind me asking? That has me curious.
My father was dying, and I was asking for it not to happen.
So,
When I was young.
And a lot of people have very similar things and are crying out to God, and their prayers don't get answered. So, okay, I'm with the Satan dude right now, but I'm open to listening to this man of God. Let him convince me of the existence of God.
It didn't work for me, so I didn't really resort to complete atheism.
Yeah.
Because I believe there might be something, but not necessarily,
We'll skip that.
the Christian idea of God and heaven.
yeah, dang, I totally understand. Actually, when I was young, I grew up in Georgia. I went to a private Christian school and everything, but I actually hated God because there were a lot of pastors in my community that were telling me how to live my life. They were doing the total opposite. And then I actually lost my grandfather, pancreatic cancer. He was my best friend. Because I went to Christian school, I was kind of they put a pressure on me to be hey, tell him about Jesus. And then he died. I was like, oh man, really? I was like, man, God caused this. I was like, God caused this and he took it away. And actually a few years later.
And that actually makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that he should carry that around, but that is a logical thought that I'm sure that he was guilted for having. Well, let's continue.
I'd struggled with depression and anxiety for a long time. And when I was 17 years old, there was a night I was going to take my life because I thought that was the only way to get the depression and anxiety to go away. And then I had a radical encounter with Jesus. I didn't know what to think about it. And so I went in
So already, how do you know it was a radical encounter with Jesus? But continue.
my car and I was like, all right, Jesus, if you're really real, take away my anxiety and depression. Because
So you're saying, I need my prayers to be answered, and if you answer my prayers, then I will believe in you. So just like the guy dressed as Satan.
it felt incurable. To me, in my eyes, the only way to take the pain away was to literally take my life. But I was like, Jesus, if you're really
In there.
real, take away my anxiety and depression. It's been almost 4 years and I haven't had any.
Okay. How does that, that is not relevant at all to the guy that you're talking to. He has prayers that were not answered. You have prayers that you think were answered. What are you trying to say here?
Anxiety or depression. There's suffering and death in the world. God's not causing it. You grew up in a Catholic household. The Bible calls sin wickedness, sin. Death is our punishment for disobedience to God. And in Catholicism, when you were growing up Catholic, did it ever feel like a cage of rules? Or
Yeah,
something
no
like that?
shit.
That night when I had my encounter with Jesus, it wasn't like I was encountering a cage of rules anymore. It was like for the first time in my life, I didn't care about my life so much. Jesus decided to intervene in my life. And I realized that he actually
Then how do you know it was Jesus, and why would you even think it was? Please, what are the answers to these questions? Genuinely asking.